Hello, everyone. Welcome to the conversation with Dr. Joan Coleman and her friends,
Gabby Johnson from fitfabandwelltube.com.
Kathy,
Kathy Witoyak of heartandsoulpilates.com.
and Donna.
Donna Hutchinson, findingyourownmagic.com.
Hello, friends. Well, today I want to get into the Juneteenth celebration. You're like, what is Juneteenth? What is she talking about? Well, Juneteenth is when the slaves actually got free. African-American slaves became free. Abraham Lincoln finally formally introduced the Emancipation Proclamation, freeing the slaves in 61. But ladies, do you know that a whole 2 years went by before all the slaves realized that they were free? The soldiers rode into Galveston, Texas, and was like, the slaves are free. A lot of people weren't happy with that, but I couldn't do a conversation without paying some homage to Juneteenth. So ladies, I know this is not, I don't want to take it lightly. I don't want to like just not cast a big light on Juneteenth, but this is the conversation. And I wanted to turn it into what makes you feel free? What is freeing to you? So Donna, is there a thing that had you locked up for years you didn't even know you could be freed from, and then you realize, oh, wait, I don't have to be in bondage with this anymore. Talk about it.
How much time do we have? I mean, every mindset pattern I've ever been told my whole life that you get locked into and you see through a lens of limitation. And it's only once you start to dive in that you realize you're the only one holding yourself back from that total freedom to be your true self. So that would be the biggest one that I could speak on for sure.
Yes. And now about you, Kathy, what have you been freed from?
What Donna's saying too, my own limitations, really self-sabotage, thinking certain things that really aren't true that I'm creating as a belief. But also one thing that's really helped me with just the topic of freedom during my spiritual path is that it's a birthright, and that's such a substantial, profound thing to remember and to realize that freedom is for everyone. It's, it's a mindset. It's what we're supposed to be on earth to feel. So
but not everyone believes that. Not everyone believes that a person should be free, or they should be free from a thought, or they should be free from hate, or they should be free from guilt. Gabby, how do we get people to know that, listen, you are not bound by anything but your own thought? Talk about that.
Yes, I will go align with Katia. I think your spiritual journey is where you're going to find some health. So, that you believe in God, or that you have other type of spiritual journey. I think that turning into your belief and looking at the hard lines that are in the sand really help you to go over those emotions and free yourself of that heaviness of being trapped into something.
We're living in a time where it's so much harder to think that you're free or to be free, because it's so much judgment, judgy. Everything is a judgment, even down to your little social media posts. You have to be sure, because somebody will be there right there ready to judge you. Now, how could we stop this overseer kind of mentality? Donna, that's a tough one. I know it's a hard topic to talk about, but let's talk about it.
It is. And the more you focus on what you can control and your own sovereignty versus what you're being told, what others think, all of that outside chatter really turning in and owning where you feel the most free, where you feel the most sovereign, what is true for you. And you start living from that truth. Because like Kathy said, we're all, freedom is a birthright, love is a birthright, joy is a birthright. That is actually our core, who we are. All the rest that we gain through this life is just the noise that comes in from conditioning. So the more we lean into realizing that true power, how much power we have, and stop believing the lie that says we are under anyone, the more you start to build your confidence, and the more you live in that truth. And then once again, that radiates out, it changes your life. And then think of how much impact it goes to everyone around you.
And that was beautifully said. But it's years. It's years and years and years and years of talking, of saying, no, not good enough. You're this, you're that. How do we break the cycle? Because, you know, it took them 2 years to find out that they were free because no one told them. So talk about that, Kathy. No one's told you, and you're still playing these words over and over again in your mind. What, help us? I know
Yeah,
it's a tough
that's a
topic.
huge question, but personally for me, just from my own experience, is shining the light on things that aren't working or whatever the ancestral lineage is, and kind of working on those contracts per se of shifting or changing the narrative on just whatever belief system it may be, right? A lot of it is mindset, like Donna and Gabby mentioned too. Yeah, you got to start small, got to put the focus on what needs to be changed and shift the perspective on that, and really believing in what you truly want to believe too. Like knowing that even if you don't really feel free at the moment, what can you do to make you feel that way where you want to feel free? What do you need to do? Right?
Oh.
What do you need? The prayer, the affirmation, the person in your life. There's little things to start with, and then eventually it will evolve.
Yeah, you know, this is really a tough question, and I want you to speak. I want you ladies to think about this question really hard, as my dog bark in the background. But listen, I want you to think about this question, right? What do you say to the people who said they don't know, they can't speak for me, they don't know my issue, they don't know what happened, they don't know what happened to my people, they don't know what I'm going through? Kathy, Gabby, let's start with you. And I want everybody to just give a little 2 cents on what you say to those people, and what, you know, what can you tell them? Gabby?
Yes, that is the truth. People don't know what is your background, don't know what is the oppression that you live through. You know, and I'm going to take it a little bit more globally, because I think that every human being has the same sentiment of being trapped into something. So we are honoring this moment in Juneteenth, but as a human being, we are all trapped into something, and people do not know where you come from. What is your storyline? What is your oppression? What is your depression? So I think that, again, it's opening the dialogue, and it could be just like, you know, an opening question. What is your story? And start from there.
Beautifully said. It's open dialogue. Donna, your take.
Open dialogue is very important. We don't know everyone's stories. Sharing those stories is such an important part of our evolution for our compassion and understanding as well. I think also looking within and saying to yourself, what stories am I holding that I don't need to hold anymore? And can I release myself from? And I've done this personally. It's very scary because you're faulting with your own identity because you relate yourself so much to those stories. It's starting to look, what are we carrying that we want to let go of? What can we put down that we don't want to carry going forward? And really starting to own that. And the more you sort of plant those seeds for people, because I know it's a tough shell to crack at times, and I understand that, but the more people see it and the more we live that, the more it's an example for others.
Yes, yes, it's a very hard burden to carry. Kathy, your take.
Yeah, I second and third what these ladies said about keeping an open dialogue, having a conversation just like this, keeping the open conversations going, shining the light on things on this topic, because unfortunately, it's going to consistently be, I think, an evolution of human nature, right? I feel like what Gabby was saying, we've all felt oppressed on some sort of level, and we don't know everyone's story. And it's just really about releasing judgment.
Yes, that was beautiful. He said, ladies, I know it was a tough topic to talk about. We didn't even go deep into it, but we just touched the surface because, you know, we have to also thread carefully. We don't want to offend anyone, but we wanted to give homage to Juneteenth. We want you to know that it's a great, 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 great thing to be free. You know, we're excited about that. And if you see the African-American community celebrating Juneteenth, that is the reason why we are free from slavery, free from anything that will hold us down. Now we got to catch up with that freedom. And so we thank you for this conversation, ladies. You guys are awesome. If you want to join this conversation, comment in the box below. We'll be sure to answer you. I'm on there all the time, so I'll be sure to answer you and we could have the conversation further. I am Dr. Joan Coleman. I'm with my friends, Donna, Kathy, and Gabby, and this is the conversation. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.